What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Exxon here, back with you with another video. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be looking at Quant network, some of the stuff, working with Interpol, digital identity, and stuff like that. I know some people, have the uh, thoughts of digital identity, but it's nothing big to worry about for now. There's still years for all the other stuff to happen. But it's good to pay attention to what these guys are trying to do with the quant network and how they, trying to establish digital identity, right? So I have some few PDFs that I've looked at. Some of these PDFs are years back, I think 2018, 2019, and stuff like that. This one's Interpol, Internet of Crime, and they have some stuff here on, you know, Internet of Things. And what they do, right? You can see the internet. There's the network of physical objects, devices, vehicles, buildings, and other items embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity that enables these objects to collect and exchange data. And then they have a picture of all the stuff they're trying to do here. You can see this stuff that's going on. I think we're not there just yet. I know to the chip implementation, but I do know that there will be a digital ID. I think in this season that comes, it's good and stuff like that. Even with Quant, so you don't want to just say, because this network is using digital ID, boo, and stuff like that. I don't think that's the way to think. That's not strategic thinking. First of all, if you're going to be a doom and gloom, that's not being smart because you can play this game and then play your own game after playing this game. If you strategize well what you need to do with quant and stuff, right? And this is not financial advice by any means. Let's say they're talking about smartphones, encryption, third party variants of Android, security codes and locks, Internet of Things integration, smartwatches, light bulbs, TVs, fridges, all those kind of stuff, which you kind of see already have that, but they want to implement blockchain technology into it, and they give a rundown of what blockchain technology is, and they do go mention distributed ledgers, permanent secure tool that makes it easier to create cost efficient business networks without requiring a centralized point of control. With distributed ledgers, virtually anything of value can be tracked and traded. Blockchains ensure integrity and trust between strangers. They make it difficult to cheat. Okay, yeah, that's one thing. Right. But what projects they're working with is the Hyperledger. Hyperledger is working with Quant, right? So, what is the Hyperledger project? We'll get into that. The Hyperledger project is collaborative effort created to advance blockchain technology by identifying and addressing important features for a cross-industry open standard for distributed ledgers that can transform the way businesses transactions are conducted globally. Now, with Hyperledger, they mostly got Linux foundation and they work with stuff like that, but they need a network for for the distributed ledger and the blockchain technology. And the network that they have chosen is Quant Network, right? As you can see, I'm on the Hyperledger Foundation, their website. All right, straight out of the Oscar's mouth here, they say Quant Network. We are honored to join Hyperledger and the Linux Foundation just because this is more of a distro or kernel, which is an open source Linux thing that software that as Quant Networks going to be integrated and help these guys with. Right, so to contribute to open source software and provide domain expertise, we see the immense value of collaborating to bring mass adoption, keyword mass adoption, for blockchain technology and contributing with our Overledger operating system. Right, so that's another key point. You got Overledger, Hyperledger, right? So you kind of see that that's keys there, right? over ledger, probably hear that, which helps unlock the potential of blockchain technology by addressing interoperability, right, between blockchains as well as existing networks. So what is going to be the existing networks when we talk about Quant and stuff? I'll take XRP, RippleNet, XLSD20, because if you look at the Digital Pound Foundation, right, they have Quant, they have Electronium, and they have Ripple, right? So with that, I do believe that there will be an integration when it comes to the digital identity stuff that we're going to talk about, right? So with NFTs and digital ID that no one's talking about right now. Everyone's talking about apes and JPEGs and stuff like that, which is kind of, it's okay. I get it. People want to make money, they do stuff like that, but the importance is we go beyond the stuff like that and what really NFTs or utility is going to be when it comes to driver's license, your ID, and stuff like that. Right, so that's the important factors of this network. Our work is driven by the belief that the collaboration makes the blockchain ecosystem stronger, which is why the majority of our code is open source. We believe it is crucial to support the development of distributed ledger technology, solutions, and hyperledger projects for enterprises and developers. We are excited to join the community to both contribute and help customers and users around the world benefit from this transformational technology. They actually say transformational technology that goes into quantum computing and all those stuff. Right, so we gotta go back to that what hyperledger is from the Interpol. Now the Interpol, they work with the IMF, they work with the World Economic Forum, they work with all these guys, right? They work with all these guys. So when it comes to this stuff and what they're doing is very interesting. Also, they work with Kaspersky as they, you can see Kaspersky here. The design of blockchain means there is possibility of malware being injected and permanently hosted with no method currently available to wipe this data. This could affect cyber hygiene as well as the sharing of child. Okay, right. So you see what's going on. Abuse images with the blockchain could become a safe haven for hosting such data. It could also enable crime scenarios in the future, such as deployment of modular warfare, a reshaping of distributed zero-day attacks. Well, okay, that's a big part. The zero-day attacks, as well as creation of illegal underground marketplaces dealing with private keys, which allow access to these data. And then they talk about cyber crimes and why they want to. Right, they're working with digital identity because this is the Interpol. This is the Interpol, guys. They talk about all these cybercrime threats. You can pause and go through. Alright, so the ATM malware, which is important. When you're at an ATM or something, always ensure to check the ATM machine before you put your card and stuff because these things do occur where they try and manipulate the system. There's more to it. You can pause and check this out. Turkpen virus malware. Okay, let's look. Is a piece of malware that allows cybercriminals to empty cash machines via direct manipulation. This malware detected by Kaspersky Labs as backdoor MSIL, right? Shipment affects ATMs from a major ATM manufacturer running Microsoft Windows. This is a straight attack on the ATM machine. But how did they do that? They had to gain physical access to an ATM and insert a bootable CD to install the malware code name, right? And they did that in the ATM. This is probably an inside job. This cannot be because you can't just go to an ATM. This had to be an inside job, and how they did it. And so you see that, and then there's some other stuff they talk about. FBI, as you can see, is on the list. You can check this out. and they mention ransomware, all those kind of stuff. But the thing is interesting is they're working with Quant network and Hyperledger to further and keep things secure. So what do they have? Let's see. This is where they want to go and take stuff. And then you can see the research, Interpol research network, what they aim towards. But yeah, that's just one vehicle. The next one has come to is the real Hyperledger known traveler digital identity. Uh, Hyperledger identity on March 18, 2020. Right, you kind of see that this was produced 2 years ago. Just before the fancy word came about, right? And before that could go like global, this document was released. And then you kind of see they talk about improved security and facilitation, which have increased trade volumes, travel volumes, my bad. But level 1, level 2, level 3, and then there's got examples of digital ID and what they plan on doing with that. Right, so now let's see where the pilot context is. So heading right, so no tablet digital identity pilot objective operationalize some of the concepts documented in the initial KDI concept paper to determine what could work well in reality, what needs to be adjusted, and what needs to be reconsidered to achieve the known traveler digital identity pilot. Deliver a pilot for Dutch and Canadian citizens. You can see what's going on in this specific country. This country, there are stuff going on. It's a bit quiet, right? So yes, there is a lot of things going on there as well. In that country, a lot of things quiet. Allowing them to travel between the two countries using a decentralized, self-managed digital identity where information is set prior to checkpoints, obviating the need to present physical travel documents to prove identity. Okay, that's one interesting thing is that you don't need to have physical, papers. You have it on your phone, stuff like that. But, but I think at the same time, we don't know your device gets hacked. And where do you leave that if your device is then compromised and you don't have papers, right? So, just two ways to look at that because we're talking about, quantum computing and all those stuff. Particularly, I think these networks are going to be secure, but there will be hacks. Anything can be broken. So I think it's still safe to have, uh, papers as well, physical travel documents along it. It's interesting to have the digital documents that you can prove. If you go, you just show your digital documents. And I think just for backup, you should have safe physical safe documents because just in case there's an hack that happens, right? We don't know what can happen at airports and stuff with devices and model twin attacks and cyber attacks in general at the airports. So yeah, and you don't want your device to be compromised. So and then says KDI will be delivered through collaborations of the following partners: the World Economic Forum, the government of the Netherlands and Canada, including these respective agencies and contractors, two airlines, KLM and Air Canada. Okay, that's interesting. Uh, Three airports: Amsterdam, Toronto, and Montreal. Right, so they have that for digital identity. Decentralized identity benefits. this is the thing. It's interesting that they say decentralized, but they have everything in one computing system. You can see what they're pushing for, right? Uh, and I don't support this narrative. I know where it's going in the end, but when it comes to stuff like quants and stuff like those are the things now. Those networks is where the value is going to come in, and the value is going to come in through things like this, which unfortunately this is the way it goes, and you will play this game like this, and then what happens is you play your own game after that, after you strategically outsmart this strategic what plan that they have here, right? And they talk about secure first that once trusted, verifiable claims are shared, your face is your passport, right? Because digital identity, they have AI and all those stuff, so they can actually pick up your image at the airport and your identity, right? But we're not going into the whole dystopia chip stuff just yet. I think there's still a lot of work before that happens. But it is in the works, right? Pre-trip planning, visa application, screening, booking, checking airline, transportation, arrival at airport, luggage drop-off, security screening, duty, right? You see, departure, in-flight arrival, luggage reclaim, transport to hotel, check-in hotel, activities at destinations. They cover all that with known. But what they will probably do is try to uh, give you like there'll be a program that rewards people with this stuff. Then you kind of see that's the ICAO e-passport logical data infrastructure. Data groups they have that only issuing state of organization. Data groups. What is the SEO word? So you see next generation virtual credentials securely stored in mobile devices or cloud hosted and accessed by biometric authentication, giving travelers the opportunity for document free travel between participating countries. Okay, so they going to have your identity already on the system. So when you go on there, yeah, that's good, but interesting if they do that. Then think about it that way as well. So, but like I'm saying, even though they have systems can go down, so it's always good to have paperwork just in case, because you'll never know. I just want to see where this takes me. What is ICO? And this is no country left behind. Security and facilitation. These look more like what is this? More of United Nations stuff. I don't want to get into that right now because that's not. But this is all the hyperledger stuff that's going on. What hyperledger is working with. Right, you can see that blockchain and airline invites, traveler downloads the KTDI app. So there's an app. Okay, there's the known traveler uh, app, right? Digital ID, and then so KTI detail pilot journey. You kind of see what's going on. Look at the projects that are working with it. Ledger Fabric is also working with IBM, and they're doing some stuff on the Stellar network. That's interesting. Sovereign, I've heard of this. It's interesting. Identity focused, decentralized, open source, partial. Okay. Standalone, no public permissioned. DID focus on the digital identity. Nodes require server approval, wallet agent controlled. Let's see that. But then you have the hyperledger stuff. That's yes, digital, which is interesting. Then you have they working with multiple platforms. Though, like I'm saying, if you got pilot solution platform, multiple platforms were considered as the foundation of the KTDI solution. All right. So what was I saying in the beginning of the video when I was saying I do believe that Quant, and I've seen them working with the Digital Pound Foundation. They have RippleNet on there, and I believe that uh, with apps or XLS D20 NFTs and the XRP ledger, those things and interoperability will play a major role in this as well. Just because I see Corda as here as well. It's R3. They building apps. They got SBI, and they doing stuff with RippleNet and working with the XRPL. Right, so you have that going on. There's so much apps that are coming out of Corda that's front end, back end that's working with XRPL, and also XLMs on the other end. You have Ico. That's so many different projects that Corda is working. They're also working with XDC, and XDC is working European Commission. You have all those stuff that's going on. Right, they're also EVM compatible. uh, so you have that with the XDC. So there's going to be a lot of networks that facilitate uh, the digital identity as far as we go on this path, right? And then they talk about Hyperledger Indie. And then they do mention Fabric. Fabric has more production implementation. It is not sufficient developed and tailored for identity use cases and would require significant development in architecture effort to achieve the same functionality. Yes, they're working on things like Stronghold, with IBM, stable, they're doing some payment stuff, right? And also peer-to-peer business modules and stuff like that. What they have going on, right? So this effort is likely to be measured in years rather than effort due to the features richness of indie. Furthermore, this effort would likely be throwaway since industry is moving forwards with indie implementations with regards to security concerns. This is largely down to individual implementations as both platforms offer limited security out of the box. For example, Fabric offers a certificate authority out of the box, but this needs exchanging for the organization or consortium certificate authority. Likewise, the REST APIs to expose either platform functionality to consuming services would need to be secured using standards such as OAuth. Based upon these and the recent progression from incubation, Hyperledger India was selected as the blockchain platform for the KTDI solution. Right, so this one they do state this for the KTDI, but when it comes down to digital identity as a whole, there's going to be multiple networks to facilitate that. Almost every project that I've seen, right, is going to do this kind of stuff. Like I've got the World Economic Forum talking about NFTs and what's the difference with NFTs. Right, so you have that. You see all this stuff that's going on here. Then, yeah. Now, some interesting stuff. Standard bodies. You can see that. It's definitely going to be a part of the ISO 20022 regulatory framework. Definitely digital ID is going to be part of that with CBDCs and stuff. You have IEC, ITU, ICAO. And this is very interesting. This looks like the United Nations logo, but then you have NIST, you have American National Standards Institute, BSI, and right there in you have Federal Agency for Technology Regulation and Metrology, just I find this logo to be very interesting. What they're going on there. You have W3, another huge one. OSUS, OpenID, right? So you can see those stuff. And then they already had these things planned in 2016, right? So you participate in 44 countries, observing countries 13. You kind of see all the different ISO standards as well. So you got ISO TC307 blockchain, as you can see. Uh, right, so that's also a blockchain standard, which is dealing with Quant as well. Right, you have those cards and personal identification, which is ISO, so all the ISO management that's going on there. And then blockchain and distributed ledger technologies, you can see all the different ISOs. That's going to tie in. There's a lot of ISO management that's going on, right? So, yep, that's about it. Now let's look at the price of Quant. Since we were talking about Hyperledger, and the only Hyperledger, as you know, working with Quant is what we point towards to connect the dots what Quant is doing with other projects and what the World Economic Forum is wanting and what they're working with and all those kind of things. You can connect the dots. Alright, so let's check what Quant is at. Still now 65 bucks, not bad. I do believe this token is going to be a super high value, probably more than Bitcoin when it comes. And if you have to do tokenomics, which I normally don't do, right? But you can see there's only 14 million, right, of this token, 14,612,493, right? So smaller supply than Bitcoin, has more utility than Bitcoin, way more utility, and most importantly, with the stuff they're doing, working with RubbleNet, interoperability, Overledger, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Indie, Hyperledger Iowa. So there's a lot of stuff that they got going on. And it's a good project. It's an amazing protocols that they have going on, right? Then they have stuff like that. But that's the price, $65.54. You can see some of the cryptos that we normally look at that week behind. I'll just say Ethereum's down 1.779, Bitcoin's at 29k, Cardano is at 56 cents, XRP is at 39, still good still. Right, we have Polkadot is at $9. It's pretty wild. So let's see what else we have. That still is at 40 XLM, 14 cents. Algorand's at 37 cents. VeChain's at 3 cents. HBAR is at 8 cents. That's a good one. Tezos is at $1.89. Done. Yeah, some few ones that I'll be looking to, but yeah, this one's more about digital identity stuff. And what's your thoughts on it? You can drop a comment below this in the box. I will read up some comments and stuff. It's because it is interesting on where these things are going with quantum computing. And yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.